Ideally, Austin needs to be the sixth man like Ginobili. We don't need to trade him. He's shown he can be productive in closing moments. Okay, I got enough conversation here, and I even put it in my headline today, Austin Reaves' value in the league. So I got this comment from ZJ. The other comment that I looked at a little bit earlier, I love Austin, but we need to make sacrifices to get better as a team. Okay, let me throw this out to everybody. What is Austin Reaves' value in the NBA? There was an article out there, and I'm going to go through this article with you guys. There was an article. I saw this. This happens all the time. There's a couple really, really good Twitter accounts out there that will find articles and kind of just post them up on X or on Twitter on their account. Yesterday was NBA Central, which I've used before. I'm going to read this article here real quick, and it's coming from this specific article was coming from Chicago Sun-Times. Jay Cowley put out the article. The Lakers are not interested in including Austin Reaves in a trade package for Zach LaVine, per Jay Cowley Hoops. There have been whispers about the Lakers for over a year now, but a source said that the pieces that would have to be swapped don't fit, and Los Angeles remains steadfast that Austin Reaves isn't going to be included. This is supposedly if the Lakers were going to make a deal for Austin or for Zach LaVine. So let me stay on Austin Reaves here real quick, because I think he's a fascinating conversation. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I have no problem saying it. I don't think the Lakers can win a championship with Austin Reaves as their third best player. Go look at the league right now. Everyone's chasing the Boston Celtics. Everybody is. So, the question you got to ask yourself is, what is the goal for the Lakers? Is the goal to just make the playoffs? Is the goal to avoid the play-in tournament? Is the goal to win a round? Is the goal to get to the Western Conference Finals? Is the goal to get to the NBA Finals? Or is the goal to beat the Boston Celtics? Because if your goal is to beat the Boston Celtics, I'm just going to focus on that for a quick second. And I don't think that's realistic right now. I think Boston's a team to beat. I understand they lost to Philly yesterday. Who knows? Maybe they got more holes than we think. I think when the dust settles, Boston's still the best team in the league. And I think there's a gap between Boston and everybody else. That doesn't mean that can't change. That doesn't mean that, what happens to Jimmy Butler? Does he end up getting traded? What happens to B.I., Brandon Ingram? What teams go all in right now? What teams all of a sudden out of nowhere start selling? What if De'Aaron Fox got traded? A lot can change, but where we sit today on December 26th, I think that's a team, everybody's chasing. If the Lakers' goal is to win an NBA championship, which does not sound realistic to me as I sit here on December 26th, then you're obviously going to have to make moves. And I don't think you can be a true championship contender if Austin Reaves is your third best player. Guys, that's not a knock on Austin Reaves. The guy has tremendous value in the NBA, and I'm going to get to what his value is, because I think his value has some to do with the type of player he is on the floor, and the other part has to do with he's cheap. His contract is nothing in today's game for what he brings to the table on a night-in, night-out basis. For this specific story on the Zach LaVine package that the Lakers would not be interested in including Austin Reaves in the Zach LaVine trade, I agree with that, because I don't think if the Lakers got Zach LaVine tomorrow and they traded Austin Reaves, a couple first rounders, and, think of another player to make the numbers work. And if I'm Chicago, I'm obviously going after, I want Austin Reaves. I want your 2 first rounders. Put Max Christie in that deal. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting maximum value with the players that I'm bringing in. They're young, they're developing, they show some promise. What they're owed is very reasonable as far as what their contract looks like. I'm not putting Austin Reaves in a trade package for Zach LaVine. But that doesn't mean I'm not putting Austin Reaves in a trade package to clearly become one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Reaves has great value, but Reaves is not untouchable. Reaves is valuable for a number of different reasons, but if the goal, Go back to what I said from the beginning. By the way, I don't think the Lakers are going to trade Austin Reaves, but I'm going to go back to what I just said. If the goal is to make the playoffs, all right, not exactly setting your, standards very high. But if the goal is, no, we need to and have to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, then you obviously got to go make moves, and you got to give up good value in order to go get a solid player back in return. Okay, so let me do this. Let me start off with this here real quick. I mentioned the value, so let me kind of just give you an idea of what Austin Reaves, what is his value in the NBA today. First off, Reaves, these are his stats on the season. 17 points a game, just under 5 assists, just under 4 rebounds. So you can call it 17, 5, and 4 a night from Austin Reaves. Okay. He's on year 2 of a $54 million contract. It's a 4-year deal. His contract every year is $13 to $15 million a year. He's got a more valuable contract than Rui. He's got a more valuable contract than D'Angelo Russell. His contract's almost the same as Gabe Vincent. It's a couple $1 million off. My point that I'm trying to make is it's not just what's your production every single night, but it's also how much do we have to pay you? How much of our cap, how much of our, our team payroll do we have to give towards you? There's not a lot going to Austin Reaves, which makes him and his contract incredibly valuable. And if you are to go out there and, obviously make a move and Austin Reaves is in that deal, you better be getting exactly what you're looking for. You better, by the time you walk away from that deal, be saying to yourself, okay, now we got a shot. Or you're doing a less deal to keep Austin Reaves, and you got another player of great value that's just kind of adding to your team. I was looking at contracts, and I was looking at, what players around the NBA, what kind of money they're making, and looking at their contract compared to Austin Reaves. There's some players in the league right now. I'm going to throw out some names here. Tobias Harris makes $25 million a year. Austin Reaves is making half of that. Terry Rozier, $25 million a year. Again, I'm just looking at players that I'm watching in the league. Bruce Brown was a nice role player, makes $23 million a year. More players that are, having value. There's other guys that have great value as well. Lonzo's $22 million a year. There are a lot of good players in the NBA that I would tell you that are not as valuable or not as good as Austin Reaves. And Austin Reaves is making half the amount of money that they're making. So just to kind of give you an idea on that. All right, let's take a look at some of your comments here as we keep the chat going and the conversation. Look at everybody today. Everybody's here. Everybody's here today. Let's see what we got here. AD must go. Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? AD is not going anywhere. Easy 20 to 25 million a year. I'm with you. And I think what you're talking about there is Austin Reaves' value is 20 to 25. It's funny. When the Lakers signed, they signed 3 players last year in the offseason because we know they didn't do anything this offseason. Literally nothing. They extended Max Christie. They drafted Dalton Connect. And that was it. They didn't do anything else. There was a player option for Cam Reddish. There was a player option for Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood. They didn't do anything. When they signed Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reaves, they signed all 3 of those players. And instantly I was like, Reaves got what? And there was part of me, I remember I had Brian Windhorst on right after all those signings happened. And Windhorst was saying they probably paid too much for Rui Hachimura. The world's not going to end, but they probably paid too much for him. D'Lo was kind of right at it seemed like the right numbers. And the last one was, the Austin Reaves contract. I'm like, how the hell did they get Austin Reaves for just that? They paid what for Austin Reaves? Guy's got tremendous value, obviously in the league. And I'm all for, I'm gonna say what I said before. I'm all for, if the Lakers feel like there's a move out there to truly put themselves in a position to compete for a championship, then go make it. And if it includes Austin Reaves and you think Yeah, but look what this does to our trajectory for the next year, 2 years, or whatever the case is, because they are all in. And you have to give up your 2 draft, all that stuff. Well, you better have a legitimate chance to win an NBA championship if Austin Reaves is in that deal. So Chicago, in their world, they I don't blame them for trying to, certainly try to go get a player like Austin Reaves. I said this. I never go on that trade machine, the ESPN trade machine that's out there. And when the news came out about De'Aaron Fox, kind of the Sacramento Kings are on notice. Turn this shit around, or De'Aaron Fox might not be a Sacramento King. And, by the time his contract's up, he's got the remainder of this year and then next year as well. But if you kind of start getting hey, I'm not re-signing with you guys, then the Kings are going to have to do what they have to do. But I remember when that happened, I was like, all right, what would it take to go get De'Aaron Fox and bring him on the Lakers? Lakers are not going to the Kings wouldn't trade De'Aaron Fox to the Lakers, but this is what it would take. And I'm looking on here. I'm like, let me just pretend I'm the Sacramento Kings. What do I want from the Lakers? The first guy I was like, yeah, I'll take Austin Reaves. I put Max Christie in there. I put Rui on there as well, just to have another piece that I can maybe go flip again, because Rui's got 2 years left on this year and next year. And then I wanted those 2 first-rounders. So, of course, any move that you're going to go make, if I'm the opposing team, I'm trying to get Austin Reaves. Give me a Max Christie. Give me those draft picks. I'm obviously trying to get what the Lakers' future is, because they're trying to win right now. All right, let's see a couple more of these here. Reaves is comparable to the Celtics' third best player to Porzingis or White. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Or let's put it this way. I don't agree with that, because Jrue Holiday is one of the best two-way players in the league, one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Is clutch, has been in the league for a long time, obviously an NBA champion right now. Jrue Holiday's their third best player. The problem is Derek White or Porzingis are their fourth and fifth best player. By the time you're out of the starting lineup, you got 5 tremendous players that the Boston Celtics have, and we haven't counted the these 2 perfectly wing players in today's NBA in Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So I don't think Reaves is on that level of a guy like Jrue Holiday. But the difference is, okay, let's say you have Reaves, and then you have players that are as good as Reaves as your fourth and your fifth best player, but they play, a different style of ball, or one is a 7-footer like Porzingis is. All right, a couple more of these, and then we're going to keep going here. His contract is too good to give up. You're not wrong there. There are 2 ways to go. Live with mediocrity, or try to win a ring. Austin is good to mid. KCP or Caruso is better by far to get you a ring. Until he is that, it's fool's gold. I don't think it's fool's gold, because, like I said from the beginning, it's got to be one of the best contracts in the NBA. Austin Reaves is making $13 million a year. I think next year it's 14, and the following year it's 15. He's making nothing in today's. Go look at the contracts that are being thrown out in the NBA. Go look at them. Brandon Ingram, who I'm a fan of, is trying to get a max. De'Aaron Fox, stud, turned down 3 years, $166 million, because he's trying to go get that 250 or 280 or 300 or whatever that deal is. Those are bad examples, because those are kind of franchise pieces. But my point is that there are a lot of mid players in the NBA making a lot of money. A lot of money.